turn on the haunches. They don't have to do it perfectly. They're not being judged in the show. They just need to be comfortable with the movement, okay? They need to be able to turn on the haunches and be able to turn on the forehand. Two different movements that we use. If someone is to come up and we basically use the leg as a guideline. If someone was to grab your belt or your leg or your arm, anything from the leg back, we want to turn from the haunches. If someone is in the front, if they grab your reins, if they grab your bridle, if they grab you this way, we're going to turn on the forehand. Most important thing to remember is do not back up. Do not pull back on the reins. Do not sit back. Do not pull back. Do not back up. Your movement needs to be forward, 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 and violent, and fast, and hard. If it comes down to this, you're not worried about hurting this person, stepping on them, anything else. If someone grabs your reins and you pull back, you're wrecking this horse's mouth. You're going to pull him over backwards, all right? Not something you want to do. If someone's grabbed your reins, what you're going to want to do is forward, hard, decisively, turn in, forward, and into that person on the haunches. Good. So you want to drive that horse around. He's being real lazy. But yeah, you want to hurt. See, now this way, see, this isn't hurting her. If she was to try to pull that horse backwards, that's gonna, then we're gonna get in a tug of war over here, and it's gonna get up. Either the horse is gonna rear up, or you're gonna pull her out of the saddle. So by going forward, you're defeating this movement by going forward. Okay, you're pushing forward, 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 forward.
Bang him in the head.
Bang him in the head. Bang him in the head. Same thing with here. Someone is to reach up and grab her here. If this is, and we're just going to spin it right off. Okay? If she was to pull backwards, I grab her here and she pulls back. Look at what happens. I'm pulling her right off the horse. She's helping the person on the ground. It's the same thing like with self-defense or martial arts. You want to take the momentum and work with the momentum instead of working against the momentum. Same thing here. We use the leg. Behind, you're going on the haunches, forward, or forward, you're going on the forehand. So, let's grab her arm, it's the same thing. It's forward and in. So,
Get back, get back, get back.
again, she's got to spin me right off. Okay? Verbalize. If there's witnesses, you want them to say, she was screaming at this person to get back, to get off, to leave me alone. Okay? It's important with the motion that you want to verbalize everything as well. So tell them, back, 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 leave me alone, get off, get off. You make separation. Okay, I dropped the reins. You're gone. Get out of there. There's no reason to stick around and get back into it. As soon as you make separation, you take off, you leave. Same thing, if you're uncomfortable, hey, blah, 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 turn around and go. Before you get to this point, turn around and leave. So, does anyone have any questions?
How do you teach your horse to do that? If I come in here,
It's leg, inside rein, inside leg. Yeah.
but it's not
It's kind of
beautiful.
lazy, but,
You can do circles,
and then it's the other way around. And then
As
you
long
just,
as it's primarily, and like Rich was saying too, if someone's in the front, or if they try to grab your bridle, that's like actually something really important that we get into, is making sure that your equipment is fit properly. Because we were at a clinic in Kentucky, and all the guy had to do was take one finger, literally take the bridle right off the horse's head, and in that same thing, just drive your horse wherever that person. At that point, this is a survival thing. If your horse has no bridle, where are you? What are your chances of injury at that point? So, if you could justify it, if someone comes up, and maybe they're petting your horse, and you guys have an altercation or something, and they try to go grab, just bring them forward. If I run them over, that's not my problem. My thing is safety, making sure I'm up here, that nothing could happen. Use your horse as a tool. Just never back them up. You always got to think, especially with a bit in their mouth and stuff like that, is forward, forward, forward.
we wear our bridles tighter than most people, and that's specifically so someone can't pull this off. I could get it off, but if this throat latch was looser, if this, where you could just reach up, if somebody knew what they were doing and really wanted to get you hurt, and you've got, you know, your bridle's not exactly snug, they can walk up here and they can be petting your horse. And they do this in the scenario training in Kentucky. They'll walk up, they'll pet your horse, and they'll hand you your bridle. So, right, right, yeah. So like I said, the most important thing I can reiterate is do not pull back on the reins, do not go backwards. Even if you can't turn, make a perfect turn, the momentum is forward, into the person, with the pressure, towards the pressure. Wherever that pressure is the direction you want to go. So if I'm on this side, it needs to be this way. If I'm on this side, it needs to be this way. So you know, she pulls back, she's screwed this way. Right, come over here. Yeah, that's okay. So, and this is stuff we practice. You know, we practice this regularly, okay? But like I said, just get your horse used to making those movements, turning on the forehand, turning on the haunches. Keep his front in position and just turn his back end around. Okay, and then the other way, it's just keeping the back end in place and turning the front end. And like I said, we use the leg as a guide. If you're behind the leg, you're turning the butt. If you're in front of the leg, you're turning the front end of the horse.
I mean, you might be juggling between the two basically, but really with the reins is you just want to make sure there's no forward or backward movement. And it's kind of funny because with our newest officer here, we were, you know, working on it with one of our new horses, and it took a while for him to figure it out. And then once he did, he realized, okay, it's just you're juggling. You want those reins taut, but you know, you just don't want them to back up. You don't want them to go forward. You just want to focus on putting that inside leg behind the girth and just start moving him around. And it'll get used to it. I mean, you can just even with just doing some leg yielding exercises or something, I mean, most horses I've been there a couple times, they'll realize what it is you're asking for. It's just, you know, each horse is a little bit different what they take. You know, I think it was you, were asking what happens when we try to capture someone on the trail. And I can just go through real quick handcuff thing, if you guys want to see what we do.
Now we do handcuff people from the horse. We try not to ever get off of the horse for any reason when we're on patrol. So we will handcuff people if, say, we encounter somebody that's got a warrant or we need to arrest them for whatever reason. We will handcuff them. A lot of times, like this happens at the beach, where we get somebody that's drunk or screwing around, and we need to escort them out from somewhere, you know, or bring them out to a cruiser so they can be transported. We have an escort position that we do after we handcuff them. We will put them into an escort position, escort them out, and just show you how we do this.
Turn the black hat. Place both hands on top of your head. Turn around 360 degrees slowly.
When you do that, she's checking for weapons, if he's got a pistol or a knife or anything else.
Now turn around so your back is towards me. Stop. I'm going to have you back up to the sound of my voice. Back up, back up, back up. Stop. This right here is a pressure point. With his hand right here over the withers, if you were to try to get away or do anything like that, because this could be a vulnerable area, all you have to do is just press down on the palm.
Break his arm.
Anyway.
Doesn't take a lot of pressure. She could snap his elbow. But it'll really.
Supposed to get my other arm.
Now what we try to do.
Okay, I'll pull.
She took her foot out of the stirrup, pulls him into the horse. She's pulling back. If he tries to get stupid, she could pull back on those handcuffs and take him right off his feet. Okay? She holds him tight there. This is something that the horses have to get used to too, because they're not used to this outside pressure pulling on them, because she's holding him in real tight. See? And if you really want to get crazy, you can take your spur and put it right into his hip and, you know. It's silly. But when he's in that position, you want him a little bit forward. You can pull him over backwards right there. And we'll walk somebody, we'll escort him to a car in that kind of situation. Not something you guys even need to do. But, right. But,
we have that big training hall that you guys often sometimes see in the arena. Just in general, I mean, horses are not, they're not meant to be mean creatures, so intentionally they do not want to push into you. You'll notice just when you're on the ground with them, working with them, if you touch them, normally they're going to move away. It's very easy to do that. So with something like a training hall, just to get them used to, you know, the maybe sometimes they might have to push on something, that ball is great for that, because that's teaching them that sometimes it is okay if I give you the cue or command to move forward and move into something with pressure, you know, you're teaching them that, because that's not really something, I mean, just think about your everyday riding. You know, you give them some leg, well, what are they gonna do? They're gonna move to the other direction. You know, you put some leg behind, what are they gonna do? I mean, something's gonna move when they feel pressure. They're not used to something being on them. And giving, you know, and them actually having to walk into it, so.
Yeah, we all teach our horses to move over. If I push on him, we want him to move over, you know? That's right, right. But, so it's foreign to them, that's, you know, so that's something we need to teach them. We need to teach them. Might not be anything you ever need to teach them. But it's important, like I said, it's just, if you take away anything about this from the ring or the bridle grab, just go with and not back. You know, even if you don't make a perfect turn, if you don't do an exact turn, just go towards the pressure and do not pull back. Because then you're either going to get pulled out of the saddle or your horse is going to go over backwards. Anyone have any questions? Anybody want to be a